portion of right-of-way for us to do maintenance on, right? Or because right now, we utilize city street underneath.
Right.
But we're also talking utility corridor, that's a whole nother issue, but what is deemed excess property, we would turn around and divest our interest in afterwards, like we've done with the I-29.
So, wouldn't you need quite a bit of, I can't picture how you would build this,
Yeah.
but wouldn't you need quite a bit of land to do the construction? Yeah, the state.
So
you have an easement, construction easement?
Yeah, we purchase in two different ways. We do permanent easement, or we do fee title. We do permanent as well. But then we also have temporary easement that we use for construction purposes. So basically, we go in and we purchase the rights to that property temporarily till we're done with construction, then we release.
We've got a nice piece there. We'll work with you on that. The old Swift side will work for staging.
Yeah, and we're aware of that. And so when we talk about the impacts, we're talking about ultimately that the initial, not what's left afterwards. I mean, so this would be, you're looking, like I said, between 13.3 and 14 acres are basically the two numbers between the alternatives.
On the staging, though, wouldn't that be a considerable amount of property that you'd need to have to work to do your staging?
Contractors work in some pretty tight locations, but that's one of the things, if you look at, so this is that cross-section that we talked about. This would be the off alignment. We're allowing for a little extra space between the two. There is some areas there that we would end up designating, or with the purchase, we'd have some extra room to work. But yeah, that's all part of it.
You'll own Mid-America by that time, so you've got one big staging yard just with that.
There are some opportunities around there. It doesn't look like it, but there are some opportunities around there for those types of.
A lot more than you normally would get on a project.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, there's opportunities there. We've already looked at some of these, trying to figure out how we're going to do it. So,
one other thing I would say is we've reserved some of the property that we purchased from I-29 for staging and stockpiling areas. So it'd only be the actual construction activities they would need on site. So that's one of the reasons why we haven't released some of those other properties out back to the option for the previous landowner of the city to buy. Trying
to be good stewards of the fund. I mean, when you see dollars, you probably laugh in my face. Anyway.
That's why it costs a little more to make it look nice, too.
Right. When we first started having discussions, I was on that committee. I want to say it was Jessica who alluded that there are some ways to kind of expedite the construction time with, there's some modular things happening out.
Once we get to a preferred alternative, we go into final design, and part of that is a constructability review. The alternatives that Dakin has shown so far are some of the steel options, but we're also looking at the precast beam options and ways that we can expedite that. Depending on span lengths, you can bring in certain things to either pour on-site or off-site. We do have opportunity moments where we do have rail, two main lines available if we had to bring in any materials that way. At Iowa DOT, we just did our first ABC construction where they poured the entire bridge off to the side and slid it into place on US 30 down in Harrison County. So we are looking at opportunities to harness our technology and work with our contracting partners. I do think that Sioux City just saw how quickly we can make repairs and in tight spaces set beams. The South Lakeport Road bridge beam was put in less than a week. And those high lines are right there, and you saw how tight of a space they did it. And we only had live traffic shut down underneath for a few hours overnight. So same objectives is that this is a over 4,000 foot long structure. It's one of the longest structures in the state of Iowa. There is going to take time to build it,
Absolutely.
but we will do it as expedient as possible because we want it open to the community.
I just remember you bringing that up, that technology, new technology could be.
Correct.
I think that's really cool. Well, maybe not when you compare 1935 to 1965.
I was just trying to get a picture of what the clear impact would be to the
Yeah.
businesses.
So it's a similar, like Dakin said, there's net impact is less than an acre between the two alternatives, because what a lot of folks don't realize is we still need to preserve a utility corridor. And then as Dakin alluded to, right now, we do not have a lot of right-of-way to maintain a structure. And as you put a new one up, you want a certain offset distance in order to inspect it without having to ask to get onto somebody's property.
Right.
Or to provide future maintenance activities, because as a reminder, these structures are built for a 75 to 100-year design life. So,
Okay, thank
Other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to tell you what's next.
Go to what's next.
All right. So what's next? Like I said, we're looking for council input. On Thursday, the PMT, which is the working group and of all disciplines, it includes city staff on that we will sit down and we will start working through this to come up with a preferred alternative. Following that, it'll have to go for management review probably in January. We're looking at the 19th, we're having our utility coordination kickoff meeting. So any of the impacted utilities, which includes the city of Sioux City, is invited to a meeting out at the DOT, and we're going to start that partnering process. January, we're looking at probably late January, early February, the aesthetics committee. We would be looking probably in April for landowner meeting, stakeholders meeting, and then probably a public hearing right after that where we unveil not only the preferred alternative, but also right-of-way impacts at that one. At that time, we'd be starting to work with the city on pre-design agreement. We'd go into design, right-of-way acquisition, and construction. If there's early opportunities for right-of-way acquisition, we'll do that. We've got right-of-way in 2027, currently estimating about our right-of-way impact for the entire project at $26 million. And then construction, there's $40 million in the current 5-year program for 2028. The November public involvement meeting estimate, we were at 118 to 144 on the viaduct, so that's been over a year ago. We are refreshing that. I can promise you it's higher. And then the Bacon Creek conduit, that was 25 just for the single barrel, and then the triple was the 34. So we're refreshing those numbers as well, but I don't anticipate those moving like I do the viaduct, or we do. The other thing you'll see in 2024, I mentioned before about the issues we've had with the existing structure. We've got another project program we're going to let and do in 2024 to further enhance the existing viaduct to make sure it's viable through construction. So we've got work to do. That means more traffic impacts on the Gordon Drive viaduct. So that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love learning about this stuff. I really do. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Well, we
And-
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
Citizen concerns. Any citizen want to be heard? Seeing none, Mr. O'Kane? Well, let's get Mr. Moore. He's got to go. Got anything?
I do not.
Okay, go ahead and go. You got to get going.
That is, oh, sorry. I thought we only had 3. Never mind.
Okay, Mr. O'Kane.
I should.
No, you
thank-
can go.
Well, thank
You
you,
can go.
Lisa. For all you've done,
You're welcome.
even before I was on council, for all you did then, where I was on council. You were a huge help, so
Well, thank you.
I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, have a good holiday. I won't see you for the, well, might. Yeah, okay. Huh? Oh, we got next Monday yet, okay.
We have a joint meeting on Wednesday, too.
Yeah, if he makes it
Tomorrow.
Tuesday, excuse me.
tomorrow, but he's not going to make
Yeah, I'm
that.
going to miss that one.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Thank you very much to everybody from the IDOT. It's great to feel included with the decisions that are made, and I feel like they truly have taken a lot of our input and kept us informed about the different stages of the process. Lisa, I think we're all going to miss you.
Oh, well, thank you.
I remember when I first had the idea of running, turning in paperwork and having you there to correct me and get my information and say, well, there's no turning back now. I have to tell people that you're running. And to my first council meeting where you said, you need to lean towards the microphone. So,
Try to keep you in line.
you do. Nobody keeps us in line quite like you. So we're going to miss you a lot around here, but I'm also so excited that you're going to be having the time of your life outside of here too. So I know you miss out on a lot of opportunities because you work very hard around here and it shows.
I'm excited for Heidi.
Yep.
Great job.
So thank you for everything. The only other note that I have is a little bit of praise for Mr. Padmore. We attended the 60th anniversary of the Human Rights Commission and the War Eagle Award, and I had two separate people come up to me and tell me how great it was to see you there and to know that human rights is a priority for the city, and your presence was definitely noted. One of them was an employee of the city, and one of them was not an employee of the city, so that was neat to hear that from people. So thank you for making the time to be here. That's everything I have.
Julie?
For me, I just am really looking forward to these improvements to the city. I know they're not starting today well, they've already started technically, but the construction piece of it, I hope that every citizen who uses the bridge, the viaduct, who doesn't use the viaduct, understands the importance of this investment of the state of Iowa to our city. I'm not sure legally, if they're really bound to rebuild this thing or not. They control the jurisdiction of it, so virtually they own it. But I'm really looking forward to getting a new solid structure in there, one that will help the city grow. I think that one plan where it comes down into Cunningham and takes us down into the old Stockyards area will do really well. It'll serve that area for future development in the expo area and down in there. So I want everybody to please be patient when the construction and these things happen. It's pain before we get to something great. It's much needed. It's probably past due. And I just really love being involved in these processes. So I look forward to learning and hearing more. And if you have any bridge ideas for what things should look like, please feel free to email me through the city. I think that's all I have.
I drove over the viaduct today, and I looked down at that Loom Bloom site. Did we take that site back?
We did.
Why are we letting bunch of trailers are parked there? There must be 7 or 8 trailers parked on that property.
I don't know if the deed has been received yet.
Oh, it's not complete yet. Okay.
Okay, I just want to make sure that somebody's not setting up and we have a liability issue.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. I had the opportunity to go to the Little Yellow Dog auction, and Ron Peterson, who used to be the publisher, right, and still very active in the Little Yellow Dog, wanted me to give you and your staff, especially Matt, a big thank you. They made a kind of an arrangement that didn't cost them a whole lot of money to do the toys out of there, and he said that he hopes that can continue because it's been the easiest and best way to distribute toys than they've ever had, and so I hope we can somehow continue that and help that Goodfellow organization, because they do a lot of good in our community. So, but
The money from that auction goes to it.
right, and so just pass along that they were very appreciative of how Matt did that. So, I move we adjourn.
Second?
O'Kane,
Aye.
Shaner,
Aye.
Scott.
Aye. Okay, now you can be sick the rest of the, until the end of the year and get out of here. That's what everybody else would do, Lisa. I don't know why